So, as I'm sure you all know, today Israel is marking Yom HaZikaron, the Memorial Day for fallen soldiers. Later this afternoon, early evening, Israel time, there will be in just about every community what is called a tekes ma'avar, kind of a transition from the Memorial Day to the celebration of Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's 75th anniversary. So I thought that in that spirit, we would look today at some songs that convey this kind of transition or transitory feeling, looking back at the price that Israel has had to pay for its independence, and then looking forward towards some of the benefits that have accrued to it since its establishment 75 years ago. So with that, I'm going to begin by going back to the last song that we looked at together last week. That song, as you can see, it's on the sources for today, but it should also be on your screen, okay? The title of the song is Ha'amini Yom Yavo. Somebody is saying to a woman, that's why it's in the feminine, Ha'amini, believe, trust, Yom Yavo, the day will come. So clearly, again, this is marking some sort of a transition from a yesterday to a tomorrow, right? You know the old line that was at least reportedly written by Ibn Ezra nearly a millennium ago, He'avar ayin, right? The past is no longer. He'atid adayin, the future hasn't come into existence yet. V'hahoven, the present, keheref ayin, is like the blink of an eye. So indeed, this song, Ha'amini Yom Yavo, looks backward, right? It looks back and it looks forward as well. We listened to a rendition of it last week, but what I want to focus our attention on now are the last two stanzas. And you see that I've highlighted them on the screen, and they're also highlighted on the source sheets, okay? And it reads as follows. Kshenovechim piyot hastenim. Stenim are sten guns, like machine guns. And noveach is to bark. Kshenovechim piyot hastenim. When the guns, when the rifles will bark, that is to say, when they're firing. Hamargemot, mortars, ne'enachot. It's like they sigh or they groan when they release their projectiles. As, at that instance, meaning while the battle is going on, machshavti ta'avirani elayich re'ava achot. The singer, the poet says to his beloved that even in the midst of battle, my thoughts turn to you. And here's the clincher. Va'az, and then he says, in the throes of battle, Eda, I come to appreciate, lakrav yesh ta'am, that there's a reason that we're fighting, there's a reason why a battle is going on. Af ki ha'mechir yakar ma'od, even though the battle is expensive, it's a tremendous cost in terms of human life and other destruction. Why? Kedei sheyom yavo e pa'am, because the battle is the necessary price that we have to pay, that one day, right, one day will come, nuchal linshom po v'lichyot, that we'll be able to live here and we'll be able to breathe freely. And that's basically the thought that's conveyed in this song and in some of the others that we'll look at. But just again, to hear the last two stanzas,
נובחים פיות הסטנים המרגמות נאנחות, אז מחשבתי תעבירני אלייך ראיה ויכול, ואז ידע לקרב יש טעם, אף כי המחיר יקר מאוד, בכדי שיום יבוא אי פעם נוכל לנשום פה ולחיות. יום יבוא, טוב יהיה בבריאה,
Okay. And with that, we'll move on. Again, with thought being given to the price that Israeli soldiers have paid since before the establishment of the state, and unfortunately down to this very day, we turn to the next song on the source sheets, the very famous Shir HaPalmach. Palmach, as you may know, is an acronym, a Rashi Tevot. The letters stand for Plugat Machatz. Pluga, a force or a company. Machatz is to strike. A Plugat Machatz is the striking force. And the Palmach was the striking force of the Haganah, of what became in 1948 the official Israeli Defense Force, but which in the pre-state period was basically the homegrown defense of Jewish communities and of Jewish settlers basically against Arab marauders. The Palmach itself was established already in 1941, and it was indeed if you wish, the tip of the spear of the Haganah. Its motto was Lifkuda Tamid Anachnu, that we are always at your command, at the command of the Jewish people and of the leadership of the Yishuv. It's among its commanders was its first commander Yitzchak Sadeh, and several other people who rose to prominence in Israel, initially in the military and subsequently in politics, including Yigal Allon, Yitzchak Rabin, and of course Moshe Dayan. The words read as follows: Misaviv, all about, Yehom Hasa'ar, the storm is raging. Ach, however, Roshenu lo yishach, our heads, we keep our heads held high. Lifkuda Tamid Anachnu, we're always ready to respond to a command. Tamid Anu HaPalmach, we are always ready, we are the Palmach. Mimetula, all the way in the north, Ad HaNegev in the south, Min Hayam, the Mediterranean, Hamidbar, the Judean desert, Kol Bachur Vatov, all the best of the young people, Laneshek, have taken up arms. Kol Bachur al HaMishmar, and each one stands a guard. Nativ Lanesher Bashamayim, just as there is a path in the sky through which eagles soar. And just as there is a shvil, a path, la pera ben harim, for a donkey, a wild donkey, to make its way even through the mountains, mul oyev darkenu ya'al, we too will follow the path towards the enemy, ben nikrotu vein tsurim, even if we pass along mountainous paths amongst rocks and boulders. Rishonim tamid anachnu, the Palmach, again, as the strike force of the Haganah, was always the first. L'or hayom, whether it was by day, uva machshach, or whether it was by night. Lifkuda tamid anachnu, tamid, again repeating their motto, we're always at your command, anu ha-palmach. I should point out that there was a period of time between 1941 and 1948 when the British were clamping down on the self-defense forces in the Yishuv, and essentially the Palmach of necessity became an underground organization. And during that period of time, the less said about the Palmach in public, the better. And therefore, there are indeed both recordings, audio recordings, as well as printed records of this song, where the final line, Anu ha-Palmach, was replaced. It was replaced with something that, again, they didn't change the whole words. The words in general still were that of a fighting force. But again, in order to de-emphasize the role of the Palmach, a substitution was made. And instead of Anu ha-Palmach, the words were Anu ha-Holchim or ha-Ovrim basach. Sach may recognize as part of the word sach, cheshbon, sechum, a total. Sach means a formation. So anu haluchim basach, we're the ones who go in formation. So clearly it was still military, but it kind of disguised its specific identity as the palmach. And another change was made, one that I'm really not sure exactly what the reasons behind it were. But in the third line of the second stanza, where it says, Kol bachur v'tov laneshek, right? And then it repeats, Kol bachur al hamishmar. There are actually versions of it that in the fourth line changes the word bachur, interestingly enough, to bachura, because indeed there were women as well as men who were members of the palmach and who served in its striking force. Let's see, which of these, you may remember in our introduction to the previous song, Tamini Yom Yavo, I mentioned to you at the time, and I guess it's worth repeating now, that the song that we just looked at, Hamini Yom Yavo, was either composed or at least it was first made public on the eve of Mivtza Nachshon, of the military operation that led to the clearing of the road to Jerusalem and the relief of the siege in which the old city of Jerusalem was held. And the story was actually told by Yafa Yarkoni, who served in that brigade, of how the song Hamini Yom Yavo came to be sung for the first time. So since it's patently clear that Yafa Yarkoni had a particular relationship to these events, I just thought it was fitting to hear her rendition of the Shir HaPalmach.
ראשנו לא ישך, לפקודה תמיד אנחנו תמיד, אנו הפלמח. ממטולה עד הנגב, מן הים עד המדבר, כל בחור וטוב לנשק, כל בחור על המשמר, נקריב לנשר בשמיים, שביל לפר בין הרים, מול אויב דרכנו יעל, בין נקרות ובין צורים, ראשונים תמיד אנחנו, לאור היום ובמחשך, לפקודה תמיד אנחנו תמיד, אנו הפלמח.
מסביב יום מסע, אך ראשנו לא יישך, לפקודה תמיד אנחנו תמיד, אנו הפלמח. ממטולה עד הנגב, מן הים עד המדבר, כל בחור וטוב לנשק, כל בחור על המשמר, נתיב לנשר בשמיים, שביל לפר בין הרים, מול אויב דרכנו יעל, בין נקרות ובין צורים, ראשונים תמיד אנחנו, לאור היום ובמחשך, לפקודה תמיד אנחנו תמיד, אנו הפלמח.
Now the curious thing is that this was not the original tune. Like many of the songs that we've seen up until now, the original tune to which these words were put was a Russian tune. I imagine a Russian military tune, but a Russian tune nevertheless. And it was only subsequently, not certainly exactly how long, but it was only subsequently that somebody actually composed a new original tune to the Shir HaPalmach. Just to give you a sense of what it may have sounded like originally. Do believe you can, yes, you do see it. Same words, different tune.
מסביב יהום עשה, אך ראשנו לא ישכח, לפקודה תמיד אנחנו, אנו הפלמ"ח. לפקודה תמיד אנחנו, אנו הפלמ"ח.
ממטולה עד הנגב, מן הים עד המדבר, כל בחור וטוב לנשק, כל בחור על המשמר. כל בחור וטוב לנשק, כל בחור על המשמר. נתיב לנשר בשמיים, שביל לפרא בין הרים, מול אויב דרכנו יעל, בין נקרות ובין צורים. מול אויב דרכנו יעל, בין נקרות ובין צורים. ראשונים תמיד אנחנו, לאור היום ובמחשך, לפקודה תמיד אנחנו, אנו הפלמ"ח.
Again, just as an indication of just how well known this song became in such a reasonably short amount of time, if you following the links that I put on the source sheets to the Zemer Reshet website, you can see that there are numerous renditions of it. I played the first one by Yafa Yarkoni, just to give you an idea of how many others there are. Don't know if you can recognize whose voice this is. If you recognized it correctly as Richard Tucker, good for you. Okay. And with that, we move along. And the next song is, again, one that looks, again, both back and forward. And the title of the song is Lo Tenutak HaShalshelet. A shalshelet, like a sharsheret, is a chain. Lo Tenutak HaShalshelet is that the chain of tradition, the chain of heritage, the chain of nationalism, of identity. Lo Tenutak, it will never be broken, it will never come apart, the links will never be separated. The composer of the words, Avraham Levinson, again, like just about everyone we've seen to date, born in Eastern Europe, in this case in Poland, had what we would call a day school education, probably attended a cheder, but it was a traditional education and went on to study law at Warsaw University. And in the 1930s, he became the director of the Jewish National Fund in Poland. And after he settled in Israel in 1935, he continued to work for the Jewish National Fund. And later on, he became the director of the cultural division of the Histadrut, of the General Workers' Council in Israel. And he wrote both in Hebrew and in Yiddish. And it's significant, given the title of this song, Lo tenutaka shalshelet, that the chain will not be broken, that for a while he served as the editor of a Yiddish journal called the Goldene Kate, which means the golden chain. The words are Shilshom, the day before yesterday, meaning again, looking back, right? Shilshom, Shudadnu, we were robbed. Etmol, yesterday, Hushmadnu, we were destroyed. Hayom, today, however, Maradnu, we rebel. Nimrod gam machar, and we will continue. Uvelahat tsa'ar, in spite of all of our pain and aggravation. Uvemachat tsa'ar, and with everything that's swirling around us. Nifrotz kol sha'ar, we will break through every gate, sagur misugar, whether it's closed or whether it's not. Kol od b'libeinu tikad hatochelet, and we will continue as long as within us there burns this purpose, and the purpose is lo tenutaka shalshelet, that again, that the chain will not be broken. And it continues, shilchom, again, the day before yesterday, literally, tzipinu, we had these expectations. Etmol, yesterday, marinu, we began our rebellion. Hayom alinu, today we go up, perhaps literally to the land of Israel. V'na'al machar, and we will continue our aliyah in the future. Uma'atzor ayin la'of b'shamayim, and if we look above us into the heavens, la'ach v'achot haba'im min echar, as we look out towards the Jews who are going to be joining us from abroad, alon na'aleh lamchorah ha'goela, together we will go up to this place, to this crucible of our redemption. And again, lo tenutaka shalshelet, the chain will not be broken. Shir oz nashira, we will sing a song, either we will sing it vigorously or we will sing a song celebrating our vigor. Moked nav'ira, and we will light a flame. Ushvil na'ira, in order to illuminate the path, la'ach nodeh, to our wandering brothers, arguably displaced persons throughout Europe. Et shvil ha-no'ar, lahod v'zohar, and particularly as we light a beacon to light the way to Israel for young people. U'lechaye tohar shalam oved, and again this notion of the Jewish people redeeming itself through physical labor. Kavo lo tichbe olam hagachelet, and that burning ember will never be extinguished, and lo tenutaka shalshelet, and again the chain will never be broken. And here we go.
לא תנותק השלשלת, יחד עם יהודה, יחד עם כל המחזורים, יחד עם כל הקהל. השיר הזה הוא במקרה לא של יהודה אורן. במקרה. לא תנותק השלשלת. שלשום שודד, אתמול הושמד, היום מרדנו, נמרוד גם מחר, ובלהט סהר סהר, ובמכתה סהר, נפרוץ כל שחר,
And as the day goes on and we get closer to Yom HaAtzmaut and we look back less frequently and look forward more frequently, we have here a song. The words were written by an Israeli poet whose pen name is Shin Shalom. His actual name was Shalom Yosef Shapira. And again, born in Poland in 1904, came on Aliyah with his family at the age of 18, in the early 1920s. And his family was was Hasidic royalty in a sense. That is to say, his grandfather was the Admor of Drovich. His father subsequently became the Admor of Drovich. And he and his that is to say, his father and other members of his family were belonged to a coterie of Hasidim who established a well-known place in Israel called Kfar Hasidim. And it may very well be that it is on account of his Hasidic background that the words to this song, words in praise of the new state that was being established, are somewhat more religious than some of those that we've seen previously. The opening stanza, in fact, Medina, Medina, right, our state, La'ami hanoded, for a wandering people, the Jewish people. Ki gilui hashechina le'einenu nigleit. So he associates the appearance or the revelation of the state of Israel with nothing less than the appearance or the revelation of the Shekhinah, of God's presence or providence. Bizra'ot ahava tiftechi sha'arech. The state of Israel will open its doors lovingly. For whom? L'sridei lehava hachomdim afarech. To those who survived the flames of the Holocaust. Hachomdim afarech, who are desirous to be reunited with the land of Israel. Bach yakum dor chadash. In the state of Israel, there will rise a new generation. Bach yanuv hamidbar. And the wilderness will bear fruit. Kol sadeh bach mikdash, every field in the land of Israel is sacred. Le'oved hayashar, providing that those who work it do so properly. At tis'i barama b'sorah la'amim. The state of Israel will give forth a call, a clarion call to other nations, mitru'at milchama, and it will transition from the trumpets that sound that sound battle and war, l'shlom alamim, to trumpets or to announcing eternal peace. At kinor kol rina, the state of Israel is the harp, as it were, the instrument for all celebration. At mishkan kol goel, it is the residence of all intermediaries for the redemption of the Jewish people. Medina, Medina, which state? Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel.
Hello.
although this song was written before the state was established, I thought that it fit in to this context of looking forward and not just back. The title of the song is Shuru Habitu Ure'u. That's basically three synonyms, right? The most simplest one, of course, is Re'u, to look, Habitu, to glance, Shuru is to observe. So somebody is calling upon other people to take a good look. And what is he asking them to take a good look at? Shuru habitu ura'u magadol hayom hazeh hayom hazeh. What a great day today is. And of course, today, as Daled Iyar, is a great day. You know, of course, that historically speaking, the state of Israel was actually established on Daled Iyar, right? Hey Iyar, the 15th of May in 1948, fell on Shabbat. And that was the day on which the British mandate of Palestine legally terminated. But the state couldn't be declared on Shabbat, right? In spite of everything, in spite of all of the differences between religious, secular, etc., there was not merely a consensus, but a unanimous understanding that the state could not be declared. You could not have a formal establishment of the state on Shabbat, and therefore it actually anticipated Shabbat. So that is the great day, right? Of course, this having been written in 1936 was not talking about Hey Iyar. I'm just using the idea of Hayom Hazeh somewhat loosely. Eish yokedet bechazeh. Again, the idea of there is a flame burning within. But what is the flame for? V'hamachresha. There's a plow. And the call is Shuv polachat basadeh. Go back to work in the field. Hamachresha, take the plow. Shuru hamachresha, look at it. Shuv polachat basadeh, and go back to work in the field. And then there's a litany here of agricultural implements. 8, a hoe, makosh, another garden tool, toria, kilshon, pitchfork, hitlakdu b'se'ara. All of these different agricultural instruments got together b'se'ara, as though in a swirling around. V'nadli kashuv, shuv et ha'adama b'shalhevet yeruka. And with these instruments, and with this eish that burns within us, says the poet, we will rekindle the earth. That is to say, we will cause it to grow again. But what kind of a flame will rekindle it? It won't be a red flame. It'll be a shalhevet yeruka. It'll be a green flame. I don't know whether this song is even sung by the Green Party in Israel, or whether people who are ecologically minded are even aware of it. But the idea of shalhevet yeruka, of rekindling a green flame in the earth. And again, uru, awaken, ha'apilu, rise up, alu, ma mora, ma ra'av, me ra'av, lo nechat, lo ni'af. If there is hunger, then all we need to do is to grow food in order to feed people. And we won't tire of it. Ad sheyazuvu shuv dvash misela v'chalav. We'll continue our agricultural efforts until we get back to somewhat an Edenic, an idyllic situation where honey will come from rocks, right? A biblical expression. Ad sheshuv yazuvu shuv dvash misela v'chalav. And here is the song.
Shuru habitu ur'u, magadol hayom hazeh, hayom hazeh, esh yokedet bechazeh, shuv polachat, shuv polachat basadeh, el hamachresha, shuv polachat basadeh, et makush tureya v'kilshon, yitlagdu b'sara, b'sara, שלהבת ירוקה, שוב הביטו וראו, הגדול היום הזה, אש גזן וחזה, והמחרשה, שוב קולחת השדה, והמחרשה, שוב המחרשה, שוב קולחת השדה, את כבוש טורי וקישור, ילמדו מסעדה, ונקשו זוהה האדמה, ושלהבת ירוקה, שוב את האדמה, ושלהבת ירוקה. שובו הביטו וראו, מה גדול היום הזה, אש גדול בחזה, והמחרשה, שוב קולחת השדה, והמחרשה, שוב המחרשה, שוב קולחת השדה, את מקוש דורי וקלשון, יתלכדו בשרה, ונקשו זוהה האדמה, ושלהבת ירוקה, ונקשו שוב את האדמה, ושלהבת ירוקה.
So the story behind this song is that it was composed almost spontaneously by, as you see, just get back again to the top, by both the words and the tune, by somebody named Zalman Chaim. And the story behind it is that when he heard about the establishment of the very first settlement in a series that was known as Choma Umigdal. These were settlements in the mid to late 1930s. It began where they were established literally overnight. People, not only the ones who were going to settle it, but from nearby places would come and under the cover of darkness, they would set up settlements. And they were called Choma Umigdal. That is to say, they were fortified settlements. And the story behind this is that Zalman Chaim, when he heard about the establishment of the very first of these settlements, which happened to be a place called Beit Yosef, which is situated in Emek Beit Shan, decided to mark the occasion, to celebrate or to mark the occasion by writing this song about the establishment of agricultural settlements, as I said, featuring this idea of a green, of rekindling the earth with a green flame. Present at that occasion was somebody whose name we've mentioned before, Avraham Herzfeld, who was known as the Avi HaYishuv, in a sense, the father of the settlement movement, and who made it his life's work, really, to be present, at least during the late 30s and 40s, at the establishment of every new settlement in Israel. And when he was called upon, deferentially, to say a few words to the assembled, what he would do, apparently, at least according to some of the records, on every single occasion, was to sing this song. So this song, the one about rekindling the flame of agriculture in the land of Israel, essentially, at least for a time, was actually the anthem of the settlement movement in Israel. In a couple of the songs that we've listened to this morning and in many of the previous ones, we saw somewhat of an accent on the idea of young people coming to the land of Israel, young people participating in the rebuilding of the land and the rekindling of the flames. And this song is actually entitled Shirat HaNoar, Shira HaNoar, calling upon the youth to sing and to join in the celebration. I couldn't find out much about it, save for the fact that the author, Shmuel Bas, died in 1949. So again, it's not unlikely that this was one of those songs that greeted the establishment of the new state of Israel in 1948. The words are Shira Hanoah, are calling upon the youth to sing out. Why? Shira Tidenu, to sing the song of our future. The youth, of course, are the future of the Jewish people. Shir Hitchadshut, a song of renewal. Binyan, of building. Va'aliyah, and of resettling the land of Israel. Min hagolah yinharu achenu, that our brothers, and again, probably talking specifically about survivors of the Shoah, Yinharu will stream together from the diaspora, Eretz Moledet Kama L'Tchiyah, and they will enable the land of Israel, the birthplace of the Jewish people, to be revived. Mize Cholel Hapela, what is the instrument that is able to bring about this wondrous opportunity for young people in particular to return? Eretz Moledet, the birthplace, the land of Israel. Mizehekim kolela, where all of this building and reconstruction taking place. Eretz Moledet, again, in the birthplace of the Jewish people. And again, it addresses the youth, and it says, Zo yadcha, it's your hand, yadcha hi hazorat. If anybody is going to plant in the land of Israel, it will be you. Zo yadcha yadcha hi hanotaat. If anybody again is going to plant trees, it will be you. Kol od hanoar lanu ba'moledet. As long as we continue to have dedicated young people, kum yakum chazonam Yisrael, then the vision of the Jewish people, in some versions, the word is chalom rather than chazon, the dream of the Jewish people will see its fruition. And we have, okay, which one? No, okay. For the closing song today, and again, because we're still in that twilight period between the Yom HaZikaron and the Yom HaAtzmaut, I thought that this song was a good one to close with because it's both nostalgic as well as expective. It's called Hein Efshar. It's still in the realm of possibility. This time the poet is very well known, Chaim Chefer, one of Israel's best known, perhaps even in this case the first that we've come across of native Israeli born poets, Palestinian born technically, but in any event. And as you can see, he wrote this in 1948. So this is clearly a song of promise. As the words say, Bashalechet, shalechet is in the fall when leaves fall off the trees. Noshev kvar hastav, right? That the autumn wind is already causing leaves to fall off the trees. Ha'avat badrachim et shaka, and the roads, which in the summer, the dust comes up, it's now settling. V'hayom rak elayich nisraf, v'cholema p'kisha rechoka. And the day is kind of worn out, and we look forward, we even dream about some future reunion. And he says about this future Hein Efshar, that it is possible, ki od erev yavo, that an evening like this will come again in the future. V'hasha'ar yachrok lo dumam, and the gates will close. Ve'enayich yiyu ko tovot, and your eyes will be bright. K'mo ein milchama ba'olam, as they would brighten indeed if there were no more war. So the implication would clearly be that this was written at the time that there were still battles going on. You know, of course, that the war didn't end on May 15th with the Declaration of Independence. That effectively is when the war first began. And then it continues, and you get the refrain, Hein Efshar, indeed it is possible. Shehiyeza pashut kvar machar, perhaps it can be as soon as tomorrow. Hein Efshar, it's possible of a jeep she'avar, that with a passing jeep, a military vehicle, arguably, sha'agu bachurim, the soldiers, the young men sitting in the jeep will call out. What will they say? Ki nigmar, they'll say it's over, the war. Hein Efshar, it is indeed possible, sheyeza pashut kvar machar, that it can happen as soon as tomorrow.
נושב כבר הסתיו, האבק בדרכים עד שקע, והיום רק אלייך נשרף, וחולם על פגישה רחוקה. אין אפשר כי עוד ערב יבוא, והשער יחרוק לו דומם, ועינייך יהיו כה טובות, כמו אין מלחמה בעולם. אין אפשר, שיהיה זה פשוט כבר מחר. אין אפשר ובג'יפ שעבר, שגו בחורים כי נגמר. אין אפשר, שיהיה זה פשוט כבר מחר. אין אפשר כי חדרך העצוב מחכה בחברון קירותיו, וקוראו לשנינו לשוב מקרבות, מדרכים ומסתיו. אין אפשר כי פתאום ניפגש במשלט או בדרך עפר. אין אפשר בין עשן ובין אש גם לחלום שהכל כבר נגמר.
And on that note of possibility and anticipation, we again acknowledge the contributions made by everyone who fought on behalf of the State of Israel, both for its establishment and subsequently. And we look forward to the continuation of Israeli independence, and to wish you all, as the traditional greeting is in Israel, Moadin l'simcha v'legeula shalema. May we indeed merit seeing the State of Israel reshit tzmichat geulatenu as the blossoming, the first blossoming of our redemption. We take a quick look at the somebody seems to know what the original tune of Shir HaPalmach was in Russian. Thank you. Partisans from Amur. Okay. And someone did recognize Richard Tucker. Okay. When is the last session of this series? Let's see. I think that will probably continue until Shavuot. We really haven't. We've gotten up to 1948. I think that there's plenty to look at for the next couple of weeks. So I imagine, I don't know exactly how many weeks that gives us, but probably until the week of Shavuot. I will look at a calendar. I'll talk to Rabbi Kelman and I'll talk to Shira, and certainly by next week, we'll be able to give you a definite time of when we conclude. Okay. The last song was sung by Nechama Handel. That was the name of the singer of the last song. Oh, somebody wrote, I hope you'll be able to continue at least till Shavuot. Good. Baruch shekivanti. Okay. With that, to everybody again, take care, and we'll see you again next week.
Okay, I just want to thank you. It was just amazing. As someone who was born in Israel and was in the army, all those songs are in my heart. It's a history and it's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad that we get an opportunity to get them from the heart to the vocal cords and out again. That's
Amazing.
That's the way to go.
Thank you.
Comes in through the ears, goes into the heart, and then comes back out.
Was each week recorded? I was not able to attend all of them.
Yes, they're all in the archive.
Good. Okay.
I
Thank you.
just want to thank you for this amazing class. I really enjoyed it, but I will be leaving for Israel on Sunday for 4 weeks. So I'm afraid I'm going to miss the next few sessions, but it's been fantastic. Thank you.
I hope you can pick up some of it in Israel.
I hope so.
I
will
think
try.
some people there
at 8
still know
o'clock in the
some of
evening.
these songs.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. The song about a beat to A, the words of Tachnen. I recognize the words beat to Shmaimu Re'eh. So,
Sorry, somebody's trying to say something, but it's broken up.
okay. The words from the song Habit Re'eh, the other
Shuru habitu ura'u.
Shum Habitu Ru'u, right? Were those words taken from Tachnen? The
No, not
words of the-
literally. Obviously,
Not
they're
literally.
biblical expressions, but that combination of words is not biblical.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you
so
for the
much.
well-prepared program.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to see you all. Take good care.
You too.